Howdy everybody, it's me, Michael Gameshow here, and welcome back to NHL 12. We are at the 7th year, since this is the month of July, during the series, and I don't know about you guys, but I am really getting sick and tired of missing the playoffs every year since I joined the Minnesota Wild, and since I won the Stanley Cup with the Los Angeles Kings in 2013, and it's the only time I ever made the playoffs so far in this series. And I spoke to my dad, and I keep telling him like why I missed the playoffs over again, and he said that you made too many trades and stuff if you're playoff contenders. So he said to not make as many trades as he did. So I'm gonna try that strategy and see if that actually works or not. Not make too many trades unless it's like maybe like minor or something, but not a lot. And so yeah, last year we just collapsed in the late season, just like the previous year. We just completely collapsed. And also, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a free agent, even though I'm pretty sure I resigned him, but I guess he rejected the offer or something. So I'm gonna have to try to get him back. That's gonna be one of my main goals. And I don't remember what I really need, so how much money do I have? I only have $7 million of cap space. Oh yeah, and one of my main goals is to try to trade away Ben Bishop, because I don't need him, and because I re-signed Jonathan Quick, and I already have a backup goalie. So that's gonna be one of the first things I'm gonna do in the offseason this year. And then I'll give some money back, and I'll probably get like wingers and maybe a center or something, because I really need something mostly on the winger side. At least I think. So yeah, that's what's going to happen, and I really don't remember what happened in the last video at all. I don't remember what I require, I don't remember what I did, but I do know I need like wingers and I need to re-sign Oliver Ekman-Larsson and trade away Ben Bishop. So I'm probably not going to do a lot in the offseason this time. In terms of like free agents, of course I'm going to do some trades. Also, you may notice that I'm actually in my grandma's house, at least for this part. So yeah, you may notice that it's a little bit the screen's a little bit darker because there's no like the cable things or the three red, white, and yellow cable things. This was the HDMI cable, so it kind of looks a little different. So there's no way I can play this. So yeah. And I'm only going to do it for this part of the video. The rest of the video will be back in my apartment. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. And this is my final year in my current contract with the Minnesota Wild. So if I make the playoffs, I feel like I should be here. But if I miss the playoffs, I'm probably going to get fired. And it might be for the best. So we'll see what ends up happening. Alrighty guys, so here's what happened during the last year. So in the 2016-2017 season, so we got the Stanley Cup champion belongs to the Washington Capitals, which won their first Stanley Cup in franchise history, even though real life would be next year, which is actually the season I'm currently doing right now for the series. The President's Trophy winners belongs to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Clarence S. Campbell Bowl belongs to the Dallas Stars. The Prince of Wales Trophy belongs to the Washington Capitals. Art Ross Trophy belongs to Sidney Crosby. Who would have thought? Memorial Trophy belongs to Sidney Crosby again, back-to-back years. James Norris Memorial Trophy belongs to Christopher Letang, or Chris Letang, another from the Penguins. The damn Penguins. Lady B Memorial Trophy belongs to Thomas, whatever his last name is. The Calder Memorial Trophy belongs to whoever this guy is from the St. Louis Blues. Oh yeah, I still find it funny how Nail Yakupov, one of the biggest busts in NHL history, won the Calder Trophy last year as Rookie of the Year, when he didn't even come close to it in real life.
Conn Smythe Trophy winner belongs to Michael. Hey, my name, but I don't play it with him. Vezina Trophy winner belongs to Ryan Miller. Williams Jennings Trophy belongs to Ryan Miller. Also won the Vezina. Bill Master and whatever you say, Memorial Trophy belongs to Matthew, whatever that says. Frank J. Celtic Trophy for the third straight year belongs to Sidney Crosby. Okay, I don't remember Sidney Crosby being a defensive forward. No, whatever. Ted Lindsay Trophy belongs to Sidney Crosby. Something Richards Trophy belongs to Alexander Ovechkin. Alright, and if you're wondering about the AHL, this is the Calder Cup champion, Lake Erie Monsters. Let's go to free agency. Alright, so one of the first things I'm going to do for free agency is I'm going to re-sign Oliver Ekman-Larsson. There we go. I'm going to sign him to a 2-year, $7 million contract. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do first. Now what I'm going to do is go to trades and see if I can trade Ben Bishop away. Wait, oh, I forgot about trade rumors. For fun, before I do the trading stuff, let's see if there's any trade rumors, just out of curiosity. Oh, there actually a couple are. Edmonton. Defenseman. Yeah, interesting. Now I'm gonna see who I'm gonna see who will trade with me before him. Alright, I'm gonna say I'm gonna try to trade with the Islanders for Steve Mason. I don't know how this is gonna work, because the Islanders do have cap space for him. Let's see if there's any player I can take. Or actually, I'll try for a pick. Actually, I'm mostly just doing like cap dump. Is he worth a second rounder? I'm gonna look at this trade value really quick. Oh, he has a pretty decent trade value. How about for a second round pick? I think I did it. Yep, I traded Steve Mason to the Islanders for a second round pick. Could I got a first round pick? Maybe, but I feel more safer with a second round pick. See, now I have $13 million in cap space. Now what I'm going to do is see if I can sign a forward. Like a winger. Yeah, no, I'm not doing Danley Heatley. Steve Ott. For 1 year, $3 million. Alright. Let's look at white wingers. What's a cheap? Gonna do like a cheap 1 year deal. Let's look at this guy. Let's see how he did this. Please don't tell me he's an RFA. Okay, he's not an RFA, thank God. And then, oops, I did not mean to do that. I'm going to go here, and I'm probably gonna sign one more defenseman. I might sign two. They want a lot of money. Alec Martinez. Here, I'll do 3 years for Alec Martinez. Alec Martinez scored the game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup Finals against the New York Rangers to give us the Stanley Cup. He has to be on my team. I don't like a cheap deal. Carl Gunstrom? Yeah. And 1 year for that? Sure. Now, let me see about goalies. Let me see if there's like a... Maybe I'll just add like a cheap third stream goalie. Just like as a third stream goalie. Alright. It's like really like the main things I'm gonna do because I have to save some cap space. Main person I'm trying to get is Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Okay. Yes, I got Alec Martinez. Let's go. And him. Detroit wants to send me this guy for the second round pick I just acquired from the Islanders. And the left. Well, let's take a look at the trade. See if it's worth it. He hasn't done anything so far. The second round's kind of steep. And I really didn't really need the pick, honestly. So I think I'm actually gonna accept this. Oh great. I might have to make another trade. So I just realized I had $3 million in cap space. Yeah, okay, I need to make another move. I think I'm gonna trade with Phoenix, folks, because they have like $26 million in cap space. Yeah, or 25. I have to see which one is it. Which contract can I get rid of and not really affect me too much? Max Talbot, probably. I'll take a third round for him. We are going to have to decline your proposed. The Phoenix Tigers want offensive skill. They want offense. Wait, he is an offense. What the hell are you talking about, Arizona or Phoenix? This guy is an offensive player. He's not a defensive player. Okay, well, I don't know if I'm on the right track or not. Is there anyone I can also like possibly get rid of? No, I just acquired him, so can't get rid of him. How about him? Okay, that worked. Ugh, nope, not quite there. Still have to make one more trade. Because Oliver Ekman-Larsson has $7 million. Asked for $7 million, and I just barely don't have enough for him. I need to make one more move. Let's try Philly. Will you take Max Talbot? I don't think they'll do a second. Let's try it. Yeah, I didn't think they'll take it. How about I give you the third? Okay, they said no. They were looking for younger players. Okay, is there any way I can like give you guys like a younger player? Like... Okay, how about how about instead of a second round pick, how about a third rounder? Okay, they accepted that. Great, now I have some cap space so I can sign Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And he signed. Oh wait, no, I hit the wrong buttons again. Please tell me he didn't sign yet. Okay, he's still on the market. That's about $9 million of cap space. Still hasn't. I'll give him one more day. Yes, I have Oliver Ekman-Larsson back. All right, now I'm gonna sign a center because I feel like I need a center, and I need to stop hitting wrong buttons. Is there any way I can buy? I can sign under for like $2 million. I don't have a cap space for him. How about you? Let's see. 20. Yeah, I just need a center. I don't care who it is. Can I afford him? I can barely afford him. Ah, he rejected it. Alright. Crap. God damn it, I swear, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. How about you? Is that the same guy who's out here? Yeah, I just need a center. I don't care who it is. That's all we're gonna do this season. Okay. Okay, good. And that is all I'm gonna do this off season. So I got Oliver Ekman-Larsson back. So we'll see what happens. I will see you guys when the preseason starts. Hey, it's me, your boss. I just wanted to check in with you, see you have some kind of plan deal with RFA, that guy. He is the only holding right now. I figured to check on to see what he got. Okay. I don't know which guy he was talking about, damn it. I'll probably figure out later on. This is an important year for, as the GM of the Minnesota Wild, it could make or break your career here. Develop, depending on how well you do. Okay, so yeah, he even says that. So I have 1 year left on my deal with the Wild, and if I make the playoffs, I'm likely safe. But if I miss the playoffs, I'm probably gonna get fired. I'm looking for at least 37 wins this year. Keep me happy and you'll be around next year too. Alright, cool. Let's hope we actually do well and make the playoffs. And not have a late season collapse, like always. Like the past 2 years. It's your boss. I just want to let you know that I expect you to make the playoffs this year. He said the same stuff for like the past 3 years. whatever. I don't care about the salary cap. All right, guys, we made it to the regular season, and if you're wondering how I did in the preseason, we're 3-1 in the preseason. The only team that we lost to was Calgary, and we beat Colorado, Vancouver, and beat Edmonton. And it looks like to start the season, we're going to open on the road against Calgary, and then we go to Edmonton. So we're going to play the Alberta teams. And our first home game of the season against the Buffalo Sabres. So let's take a look at our schedule this year. Play Chicago in back-to-back games. Detroit Red Wings in back-to-back games in December. Arizona or Phoenix in back-to-back games and also in December. San Jose in back-to-back games. Holy crap. Yep, there we are playing the Kings on December 30th. Look at this, we go to Nashville, then we play home to Boston. Back-to-back road games in Calgary and Colorado. Oh my god, this week on February 11th to February 17th, we played back-to-back games for well, not back-to-back games, but back-to-back same teams. Vancouver, then St. Louis, both on the road. There's the trade deadline. After the trade deadline, we always collapse. So I wouldn't be surprised if this happened again. And look, we played the Kings back-to-back home games in April. And it looks like we end this... Okay, funny. We start the season at Calgary and we end the season against Calgary at home. So our last home game of the season against the Calgary Flames and our last road game of the year is against the Los Angeles Kings on March 25th. Alrighty then, it's time to get this regular season started, and let's hope to God they actually make the playoffs again. So, if you're wondering what happened in the 2017/2018 season, well, this is the year that the NHL expanded for the first time since 1999. This is when the Vegas Golden Knights came to existence, and their very first year they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost. Nobody expected them to make the playoffs at all. They expected them to be absolutely terrible, but they made the playoffs, swept the Kings, my LA Kings, and then destroyed everyone else until the Capitals. Then they lost. And how did the Kings do this season? Well, they were pretty mediocre. Like it was a weird year for them because despite they were old as hell, it feels like they turned back the clock after 2012. And they made the playoffs, and yet they didn't do anything in the playoffs at all. And they were being carried by Jonathan Quick. Because, seriously, if you look at Jonathan Quick during that playoff series, he was absolutely outstanding. But yet, he just had no support. You know what's the stupidest part is, or kind of funny part? It's the same crap that happened to the Kings this year against Colorado. You know, because nobody really expected the Kings to make the playoffs, but yet they did. And the only difference is that everyone expected Colorado Avalanche to absolutely annihilate the Kings last year. And yet, they play a lot better than anyone expected. Well, minus Game 4. But Vegas, at least they kept it tied the entire series. So, yeah. The Kings really didn't belong in the playoffs that year. And how did the Minnesota Wild do this season? Mediocre. I mean, they made the playoffs, but they felt like they didn't really do anything. I mean, they were good, but they were not like good enough to like make a deep run. And, oh yeah, and they, by the way, they got their asses kicked by the Winnipeg Jets And you know, in this game, the Jets are in the Eastern Conference, not the Western Conference. And that's the first time they ever won a playoff game in their existence. Well, because they took the Atlanta Thrashers history. And their first ever playoff series in their franchise history. And they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, but lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. And yeah, like I said before, unfortunately, Golden Knights fans, this game was programmed long before the NHL even announced the Golden Knights were even going to exist at all. So they're not going to be in this game, and they're not going to be in this series. Neither will the Seattle Kraken. So yep, it will just be the same old divisions they had back then, compared to the bullcrap divisions they have now. And we're going to have 1 through 8 instead of the bullcrap playoff format. So yeah, I think other than that, I think it's time to get the season started. So we'll see how I do in the first month in October. So wish me luck, folks. Yay, we won our opening game against Calgary on the road, then lost to Edmonton. How about our home opener? We beat Buffalo. Woohoo! Alrighty then. We are on a roll so far to start off the month of October. We are 7-2-4, which is probably the best start we had to start the season in the entire series so far. Let's take a look how we did in October. Obviously, we beat Calgary, then lost to Edmonton, then won 3 straight games, including our home opener against Buffalo, then lost to Columbus, then beat Nashville, lost to Arizona, beat Calgary, then lost to Calgary, beat Buffalo, lost to Carolina. Yeah, we did have a rough last few weeks, but still started the season very strong. Let's take a look how we are in the standings so far to start the season. That's the wrong one. And look at that, we are leading our division. We are ahead of everyone else. Our closest opponent is the Calgary Flames. We have 16 points. And we only lost 2 regular season games so far. And we only lost twice so far this season. The other losses we had were in overtime. I guess Vancouver isn't as strong as they once were because they've been one of the stronger contenders for the past few years. Let's see how we did in our last 10 games. We are 5-2-3, and we had an outstanding home record. We're 5-1-2, and our road record, it's not that great, but I expect a little bit more out of it as we move on to the season. Okay, so that currently puts us in 3rd place in the Western Conference. We're the 3rd seed, and if this was the playoffs right now, we would be playing the Coyotes in the first round. Out of curiosity, where are the Kings at? They're dead last in the Western Conference so far. Haha, that's what you get for letting me go and not re-signing me. Alright, now it's time to figure out how we're going to do in November. Can we continue doing well as we did in October? Okay, this is really weird. Throughout my entire tenure of the Minnesota Wild, minus the first year, we always had strong starts, or at least the second year we didn't have the greatest start, but then we started coming hot once December hits. And then after the trade deadline, we completely collapsed. The 2 years ago in May, we missed the playoffs because of the 6-game losing streak. Or was it, was the 6-game losing streak in May or June? I can't remember. It was one of those two. No, it was May. It was May, and then May we had a 6-game losing streak, and it caused us to miss the playoffs. And then last year, we just collapsed. So yep, hopefully we do well in November. Let's continue to have the start that we had in October. Hey, look, it's my Hey, look, guys, it's my birthday, November 2nd, and we're playing against the Chicago Blackhawks, and we beat them. Happy birthday to me. I am now 13 years old. Toronto's offered me a trade. 2 minor league players for the 3rd round pick I got from Arizona. Or, it's Phoenix, not Arizona. Let's take a look and see how they're doing. If they're doing well enough, I might accept this. Stuart Price, Percy, not really doing anything. How about you? No, I'm not accepting this trade. That's a terrible trade, Toronto. Actually, hang on. Let me try to troll them because screw the Maple Leafs. I'll trade for those players. Not for a 3rd round pick, for a 7th round pick. Actually, scratch that. 2 7th round picks. Oh my god, Toronto, you are so stupid. That's a terrible trade you just offered out to me. Alright, guys. From November, we didn't do as well in November. Took a little step back, but I still say it's pretty solid. We're 15, 6, and 5. So let's see how we did in November. So we started off by beating the Blackhawks on my birthday, and then beating the Blackhawks again, and holy crap, they're 13, 9, and 3. We started the month very hot. We won 5 straight games, then won, and didn't really do that well this week, but we beat Detroit, I guess. Then after losing to Colorado, we had a 4-game losing streak, so we didn't do that well that week. But we ended up pretty strong if you ignore that loss against Pittsburgh. So, yeah, pretty much the same despite a little step back, but not really much of a difference, honestly. Let's take a look at the standings. Okay, we're still 1st place in our division. We have 36 points. Vancouver has climbed up. We are now ahead of them as the 2nd place team for Vancouver. Calgary has taken a nosedive since then, and Colorado and Edmonton are the same. But actually, Edmonton has been competitive for a little bit the last few years, but then they really have stepped down. Colorado has been terrible ever since I joined the Minnesota Wild. So it's really been Vancouver and either Calgary or Edmonton fighting, and me fighting for the playoffs. Especially Edmonton. So let's take a look at the last 10 games. Yeah, 4-2, so not great. We're completely outstanding at home. And hey, just I expected we gotten better on the road too. Alright, just keep this up, Minnesota. I can finally make the playoffs for the first time since 2013. Let's see, how long have I missed the playoffs for? This will finally end my 5-year drought. I have not made the playoffs in 5 years, in 5 months. And I wanted to play in the damn playoffs again. Alright, we are in 2nd place in the Western Conference. The only team that's the only team that we're behind in the conference is the San Jose Sharks. Let's go. And if we play in the first round of the playoffs today, we will be playing the Vancouver Canucks, one of our division rivals. Alright, this is going great so far. This is the best start we have to the season. In fact, not only the best start we have to the season, but the best start in the entire series since I started this. Like, if you remember, I didn't have the greatest starts with the Kings, especially in, I didn't do well the first few months, and then I kind of got hot a little bit once December hit, and then in 2013 I just kept getting hot and hot, and all that stuff. So now let's see how we do in December. Alright, let's do this. I didn't realize this as well when I was doing the schedule thing, but we have back-to-back road games against the Coyotes, and then another back-to-back road games against the Sharks. Did I say that? I don't know, I don't remember. But anyway, let's see how we do in the last month of December until ...2018. And also, if you guys are wondering, the Loud House season 2 was airing around this time, and we're at the last month of it before season 3 started airing. Season 3 started airing in, I think, in April? I want to say April, but I'm not 100% sure. I remember seeing Trip in like January, but that was like on YouTube. Because it was leaked before it aired on TV. I'm pretty sure Trip aired in like April. Like March or April. I know it was like early in 2018. Don't remember what month it was. Alright, we got back-to-back road games against the Coyotes and Sharks. Let's see how we do. Okay, lost the first game to the Coyotes. And beat them the second time. How about the Sharks? You beat the Sharks in the first game. Come on, can we please beat them again? No. 2-2 during that stand. Against one of my most hated teams in hockey. At least it'll be Boston. Alright, first time playing against the Kings this year. Can we beat them? Did we beat them? I actually didn't see. Well, we did beat them. We shut them out. Alright guys, we just finished the month of December, and we did a little, alright guys, we just finished the month of December, and we kind of took a little bit more step back, as I felt like we played kind of mediocre this month. But hey, we're still 20-10-8, so that's still not too bad. So let's see how we did in December. I kind of talked for most of that month. So, we started the month by losing back-to-back home games against Detroit. Then beat Colorado, and then went 2-2 with the Sharks and Coyotes, and lost to Montreal. And beat Boston, and beat the Kings. So yeah, we didn't really have the greatest December. Let's take a look how we're doing in the standings. Well, despite the mediocre December, we're still first place in our division. And Vancouver, we're still ahead of Vancouver. We have 48 points, so we're kind of leading the division by a lot. Well, okay, not a lot, but pretty decent amount. We're only leading the division by 7 points. Alright, let's take a look how we did in our last 10 games. We're 5-3-2. Oh my god, we didn't have the greatest home stand in December. We did pretty mediocre, but hey, our road record is improving. 11-5-4. And I expect a lot more out of the home stand, guys. Come on. Do better at home. See how we are in the conference. Wait, did I miss the conference? Oh, wait, no. Saving my butts. Okay, so we are 3rd place in our conference. So if we play in the playoffs now, we'll be playing the St. Louis Blues in the first round. Alright, it's time to start off 2018, which was an interesting year. Actually, kind of one of the more forgettable years, if I'm being honest. Like, personally. Seriously, I can barely remember what happened in 2018 at all. Other than the Vegas Golden Knights, like, coming out of nowhere and making the Cup Finals. And this was my first year of middle school. I forgot to mention that earlier, but this is my first year starting middle school. I was in 7th grade. Yes, I was in 7th grade. I was in middle school for 2 years. 2017 to 2019, I was in middle school. And it took a little bit to get used to middle school, but I eventually got through it. Even though the staff hated my guts for some reason, even though because I'm a special ed student, and for some reason that my middle school hated special ed students for some reason. Like they always pick on me, even though I did. They always try to get me in trouble for something I really didn't do anything wrong. And the people that don't need special needs, the normal ones, they treat them like they're the best students ever, even though they're like pretty bad and stuff. But then again, I was just a stupid teenager at the time, so whatever. I eventually improved and gotten better. Just not at the time because I was just, again, I was 13. That was the first year of me being a teenager. Alright, let's see how we do in January. Alright, can we start off the year strong? Can we beat Dallas, please? Yes, we beat Dallas. Holy crap, we did. Let's go. Alright. Hell yeah, we just started the year strong as we are 28, 13, and 10. Let's freaking go. That is what I like to see. I can't be too cocky yet, but I feel like we have a pretty good chance of making the playoffs this year. Oh, great. Jack Johnson's injured, I just noticed. Great. Alright, let's see how we did in January. We start the year by beating the Stars, then beating Nashville, lost to Boston, beat the Islanders, lost 2 straight, and then won 4 straight, and then lost to the Avalanche, then beat the Ducks. How to take that, Grandma. And then lost to Columbus to end the month. I almost said year. So yeah, I think that was a pretty good month overall. I think that was better than even October. Okay, so we're almost at the trade deadline. So can we please actually do well after the trade deadline? That is all I'm asking. I just want to make the playoffs as well, but I really do not want to collapse after the trade deadline. So let's take a look how we're doing at the standings. Alright, we are still in first place in our division. We've been first place in our division pretty much all year since we started. We have 66 points. And man, we are dominating the division this year. The team that's ahead of us, Vancouver, has 58 points. So we're up by 8 points. Vancouver can still catch up to us if we like collapse and stuff, but I'm pretty confident that we actually might take the division this year. Let's take a look at our last 10 games. We are 6-2-2. And okay, there we go. Our home record has improved since last month. Let's freaking go. And our road record is pretty much the same. We are both good at home and away. And look at Colorado. They have a great road record. And look at Colorado. They have a great home record, but an awful road record, which is pretty common. Like sometimes they do better at home, and sometimes they do worse on the road, and sometimes they do better on the road and they do worse at home. So now we are in second place in our conference. The only team that's ahead of us is the Dallas Stars. And we got the Chicago Blackhawks behind us. So if we play the playoffs right now, and what did you know? You're not going to believe we would get to play in the first round if we play today, right now. It's the Los Angeles Kings, so they actually got their crap together and actually started winning games. Because when I looked at them in October, they were the worst team in the conference, and now they have the 7th seed so far. And look at this, the entire Pacific Division, minus the Coyotes, are in the playoffs. Dallas is first place in the conference, which means they're also first place in the Pacific Division. Then San Jose is in 4th place in the conference, so they're going to take 2nd place in the division. And the Kings and Ducks are in 7th and 8th place combined, which means the Kings are in 3rd place in the division and the Ducks are in 4th place in the division. Where's the Coyotes at? The Coyotes are here. They're 11th
in the conference.
which means they're the worst team in the conference this year. That's crazy to me that all of the Pacific Division, minus the Coyotes, are in the playoffs. That division is tight. That's what it means. Very tight division compared to my division, which is pretty weak. So yeah, let's see how we do in February, and you know the drill by now, folks. I'm going to send to the trade deadline. So let's do this. Alright, it's time for our back-to-back games against Vancouver and St. Louis. How do we do here? Okay, we lost to Vancouver. We lost to Vancouver in both games. We shut out St. Louis. How about the last game? I think we lost in overtime. So we're 1-3. Or technically 1-2-1.
Alright guys, we made it to the trade deadline. So I'll show you how we did in February and a little bit of March. But other than that, let's go to the trade deadline now. I'm not sure if I'm really going to do a lot in the trade deadline, unless they give me like really good deals. So we'll see. Tampa Bay is calling me, and it looks like Montreal's also calling me. So let's answer Tampa Bay first.
Offer me a third round pick in 2015 and this guy, an unsigned player for this guy. Well, let's take a look and see how he did this season. Not really doing anything, so I think I'm going to reject this one. Sorry, Tampa. Gotta do a bit better than that. How about Montreal? Okay, you got an injured player for this one, and for... So, trade for a young... So they want a younger player for my team, and a third round pick for a guy that's injured and it's also slightly older. Now let me look at this player and see how he did this season so far. Ooh. I might remove the pick, but I don't think that would be bad for like a one-on-one player swap. No deal? Alright. No trade so far. I got 3 different teams. Nashville, St. Louis, and Colorado are calling me. Let's take a look at St. Louis first. They're gonna pick an RFA guy. Ooh, guy that's an RFA. Alright, let's see how he's doing. He better put up numbers. He put 20 points last year, but hasn't played a single game at all. So, and they want an unsigned player. I'm gonna say no. I can't risk. I can't risk that. All right, this is a little bit better. Bobby Butler and the Minnesota and my 2020 third round pick for this guy and this guy. So let's take a look and see how they're doing really quick. 7 points in AHL. Okay, so it's basically a bouncing around from the AHL and NHL. How about you? 31. Not terrible, but minus 12. That's a little bit concerning. How about you? I don't know. I don't think that's really worth it. Unless this guy hasn't really done anything. He hasn't really been that great either. Oh, that's a gamble. He has 60 points. No, I can't do it. It's way too risky. Philadelphia's third round pick for 2 AHL players. 22 and 21. There it is. And for 2 centers. Let's take a look. 7 points. Okay, so he's okay. Then how about him? Not much. .12 points in the AHL. .10 points in the AHL. The third round pick is a bit steep, just like the previous trade. So how about this? No deal. Yeah, all these trades have just been terrible. All right, the Islanders, the Blues, and the Lightning are offering me trades. So let's take a look. Zach Phillips. I don't know that. Does that mean he's injured or something? How's Zach Phillips been this year? 24 points. Oh, he's been taking a step back. I guess he's been injured this year. Let's see. How has he been, the RFA guy? Nothing. He's done nothing. And this guy's a goalie and he hasn't done anything. Nope. St. Louis. Please give me something good. Third round pick for this guy. An injured player. We're gonna get a 4th rounder. 24. He hasn't really done anything in the NHL. And no, not worth a 3rd round pick. How about a 4th? How about a 4th and how about a 4th and a 6th? No deal. Yeah, like I said, these trade offers have been absolutely terrible. Zach Phillips for this guy and this guy. He has 26 points. Okay, that's a good sign. Oh, he's been wrecking it in the AHL. This guy's 24, this guy's 25. I might accept this one. I think I'm gonna accept this one. It's actually not a bad deal, especially for this guy. I'm gonna accept that. Is that really the only trade that happened all time? It was just me and Tampa Bay. No one else is trading anyone. That's strange. Okay, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and St. Louis are calling me. Alright, Pittsburgh. This guy, how's he doing this year? 10 points in the AHL. Okay. Look at this guy. And he's 27 and he's an RFA. Nope, not accepting that. There, the Islanders, I meant to go to St. Louis first, but whatever. Okay, this guy is 26. And he has making $4 million, 43 points, okay. $22 points. Okay, and how about him? This guy's a bit older. And no, I don't think I'm gonna accept this one. Let's look at St. Louis. Let's see what they're offering. A 3rd round pick for this guy, and Florida's 4th round pick. I swear, what is up with like wanting my 3rd round pick, and when they offer like another pick, the player that they're trying to offer me isn't doing anything. Now, this guy's 23. He's kind of a. He's 23. And he's 80 overall. It says he's 80 overall. And actually, it might be worth it. I don't know if 3rd round pick is really worth it. But I do have Philly 3rd round pick, so I think I'm actually going to accept this one. just a minor league swap and oh, okay. Toronto and Arizona made a trade. All right, how many? Okay, I think this is the last one. So Columbus, Montreal, Pittsburgh, and I think there's 4 teams that are offering me a trade. Oh, it's St. Louis again. $16 points. How about you? No deal, Columbus. Montreal. Unsigned player for this guy. The guy that are trying to get us has 42 points. That guy has 22 points. No deal. Pittsburgh. Man, everyone wants this guy for some reason. And the 3rd round picks. And this unsigned player. For Ian White. I remember Ian White. It's 20 points this year. Alright, this is probably going to be the last trade offer. A defenseman and an RFA guy. $12 points. Nope. Islanders made a trade with the Senators. Alright, that's it. I feel like we had a pretty okay trade deadline. I only made 2 trades, and I feel like both of them are just like minor deals. So, yeah. So if you want to see what happens before the trade deadline and how we did, well, here you go. Lost to Dallas, beat Vancouver, then lost to the Blue Jackets, and then didn't do so well. Yeah, I was right. We lost to the Blues. Oh, we didn't lose in overtime. We got shut out by them. Oh, okay, here's something funny. We shut out the Blues 3-0, and the next time we played them, 2 days later, they shut us out 3-0. And then, yeah, so we had a 3-game losing streak, 4, and 1, and then beat Dallas 10 after the month. So we didn't really have that good of February. And I forgot to mention this, but we're 33, 20, and 12. So, oof. Not doing very well recently. But hey, we beat Winnipeg the first month of March. And then we beat Florida and lost to Washington at the trade deadline. So let's take a look how we are in the standings. Okay, but we still lead our division, thank God. Although we don't lead it by much. We're at 78 points. Vancouver has set 73 points. So we're ahead by 5 points, so we could lose that division if we're not careful. And then Edmonton's at 61. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's no way Edmonton's going to make the playoffs after that. So it's pretty much going to be between us and Vancouver. So let's see how we did in our last 10 games that I just hit the wrong buttons. Yeah, I did not we're under 500, 4-6. Our road record has been great again. But we struggle at home recently. But we're still pretty solid at home, but not great. Vancouver's been doing better at home than we have. And we're currently in 3rd place in the Western Conference. Still leading our division, and if we play in the first round, we'll be playing Vancouver, So I think the good news is, besides Vancouver and us, I think the good news is besides Vancouver and the Wild, I think we're gonna make the playoffs either way, because even if we lose the division, we'll be where Vancouver is, and no one else in our division can really like catch up to us. Now the question is it still possible for us to miss the playoffs? Let me check. Yeah, it's definitely possible, but it's highly unlikely. So yeah, if we like completely fall apart and everyone passes, then yeah, we can definitely miss the playoffs. But I think overall, I think we're pretty secure into the playoffs. We just got to figure out if we're going to get home ice or not. So we'll see. Let's sim to the rest of the season after the trade deadline and see how we do to end off the year. Hopefully we end off the year strong. Hey look, we passed our goal that the boss wanted. Wait, I think that was our last road game of the season, I just realized. It was.
Alright, back-to-back home games against the Kings. We beat them the first game. How about the second game? We beat them the second time. We beat them both times and we shut them out the second time.
And we beat the Flames in our last home game of the season. And holy freaking crap, I think we made the playoffs. We are 46, 23, and 13. Yeah, there is no way we end up missing the playoffs. Freaking finally, I'm pretty sure we make the playoffs. And if I do, it's the first time I've made the playoffs since 2013, back in February. And now we're in July, 5 months later. So my 5-year drought is finally over. I don't have to worry about like getting pissed off and late season collapse over the last 3 years anymore. So let's take a look how we did it from the trade deadline to the end of the season. So start off strong by a 4-game winning streak and lost to Nashville. Had a 3-game winning streak, then lost to the Kings, then had a 3-game winning streak, then lost to the Sharks. I had a 2-game losing streak here, but won 3 straight games to end the year. So yeah, so no, we did not have a late season collapse like the last few years. In fact, the hockey gods finally listened to me and allowed me to make the playoffs. So, since I'm pretty sure we make the playoffs, I wonder who we get to play in the first round. Let's find out. Okay. Back in October, when I told you I was expecting 37 wins, I wouldn't have guessed to pull out 46. This is amazing work. You really raised the profile of the Minnesota Wild this year. Great job. Yay. I finally proved to the Minnesota Wild that I'm not a bad GM. Is that everyone either gets injured or we have late season collapse. And it looks like our first round opponent's against the Nashville Predators. This should be very interesting. Before we get to the last part of the video, and because I had to record the playoffs, of course, when I get there, just like I did in 2013. Let's take a look at the standings and see what happened and where we ended up finishing. Okay, we ended up winning our division. We finished with 105 points, and Vancouver missed the playoffs. They finished with 88 points and didn't make it. I thought they were actually going to make the playoffs, but I guess they collapsed because it looks like they were going to make the playoffs. I think they were like this. Yeah, they were the 6th seed when I checked them at the trade deadline, and then they completely fell apart and missed the playoffs. I was the best team in my division, and I won my division easily. There's something that's funny is that Vancouver has 40 wins, but they only have 88 points. I have 46 wins. I have more wins than Vancouver by 6, and yet I have way more points than they have. Let me take a look and see See how much difference point-wise that is. That is 17-point difference between the Minnesota Wild and Vancouver Canucks. And yet, I have 6 more wins than the Canucks do. Let's take a look at our last 10 games and our final home and away record. We are 7-2-1 in the last 10 games, and we finished off the home and away record pretty good with 22 wins, 12 losses, and 7 overtime losses at home, and 24 wins, 11 losses, and 6 overtime losses away. So yeah, we had a pretty good season. Best season I had in years since I took over, since I led the Kings to the Stanley Cup championship in 2013. I think this is even better than my Kings team, because I think I finished that year with like 103 points. I finished this year with 105 points. So where does that place? Okay, so that puts me as the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, which is why I'm playing Nashville, because they're the 7th seed. And the Dallas Stars. Let me look at the Dallas Stars real quick. They finished with 116 points. So yeah, they were gonna take that conference easily. And then that's who I play. Oh my God, Vancouver missed the playoffs due to Anaheim having more regulation wins. You see, they have the exact same points, 88, but due to regulation, that's why they missed the playoffs. But wait, I don't get something. How does Detroit have 35 regulation win when the Canucks have 31? I'm pretty sure this is regulation wins, right? Regulation plus overtime wins. Okay, I'm not really sure, but yep, I finally made the playoffs again. Let's take a look at the playoff tree really quick. You know, I just realized something. 4 out of the 5 teams from the Pacific Division made the playoffs. The only team that didn't was the Phoenix Coyotes. I want to take a look and see how tight that division was. So let's take a look at it really quick. Okay, so I guess it wasn't as tight as I thought. I guess every team in the Pacific Division was better than the other teams in the division in the Central and the Northwest. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so here is the playoff tree. We got, in the Western Conference, the number 1 seed, Dallas Stars, playing against the number 8 seed, Anaheim Ducks. We got the 2 seed, Minnesota Wild, which is us, playing against the number 7 seed, Nashville Predators. We got the number 3 seed, Chicago Blackhawks, playing against the number 6 seed, St. Louis Blues. And then we got the number 4 seed, San Jose Sharks, playing against the number 5 seed, Los Angeles Kings. And you want to know something funny? 3 out of the 4 teams in the Western Conference in the first round are playing by their division rivals. And I know what you're thinking, Michael, isn't Nashville and Minnesota also division rivals? Yes, nowadays, but back in 2012, they were in different divisions. And yes, remember, Dallas was also in the Pacific Division at the time. And then in the Eastern Conference, we had the number 1 seed Carolina Hurricanes playing against the number 8 seed Washington Capitals. Then we have the number 2 New Jersey Devils seed, I forgot to say that, playing against the number 7 seed Montreal Canadiens. Then we had the number 3 seed Buffalo Sabres playing against the number 6 seed Toronto Maple Leafs. Then we have the number 4 seed New York Rangers playing against the number 5 seed Philadelphia Flyers for the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs. In real life, I think I said it, I forgot to say it in the beginning of the video, but in real life, the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup against the Vegas Golden Knights in their very first year of existence. So let's see, according to NHL 12 in the series, who's going to win the Stanley Cup. So yeah, I will do the playoffs in a different video, and I will see you guys in this part of the video in my apartment after the playoffs are over. So you'll see how I did right about now.
Alright, it's been like over a month and a half since I'm recording this, since I was really busy in July. So this video is going to come out way after July, probably late August. Because again, I was super busy and stuff. But yeah, this video will be for July, and then when I record for August, that video will probably be uploaded in September, and then of course they're doing the September one. So yeah, as you can see, I beat the New York Rangers and won the 2018 Stanley Cup. The second time I won the Stanley Cup, and both times I made the playoffs, I won the Stanley Cup in this series. And funny enough, I won the Stanley Cup with the first time the franchise has ever won a Stanley Cup with the LA Kings and Minnesota Wild. So yeah, I am a two-time Stanley Cup champion as the general manager of both the Los Angeles Kings and Minnesota Wild. I wonder if the Kings regret firing me because I was able to bring the state of hockey its first ever Stanley Cup championship. Okay, well I didn't do much its first season because I was literally in a rebuild. The first 2 years as well. Well, okay, I didn't really do much the first 2 years because the first year it was literally just a rebuild. Like there was nothing I could have done there. I was like, we were losing and stuff. And then the second year we were slightly better, but not that great. The third year we almost made it, but collapsed at the worst possible time. Actually, I think the second year we also almost made it, but fell apart. Because I think we had like one of those years, I can't remember if it was the second or third year. I think it was the second year. We lost 6 straight games and missed the playoffs because of it. And then the third year, one of those years, we completely collapsed after the trade deadline. And then here we are in the 4th year of the state of hockey. I finally won the Stanley Cup. And it was my last year of my contract, and if I would have missed the playoffs, I probably would have got fired. But since I won the Stanley Cup, I'm likely going to stay in Minnesota. So yeah, let's take a look how the run went. And then I'll do the playoff tree really quick. And then stats, you know the drill by now. Alright, let's take a look at the Stanley Cup playoff tree for 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs. So in the Western Conference, we have the number 8 seed upset the number 1 seed Dallas Stars 4-3 in 7 games. Just like when I won the Stanley Cup, the number 8 seed Colorado Avalanche defeated... What team was that? Oh, it was Chicago, that's right. They were the number 1 seed at the time. And then the number 2 seed, Minnesota Wild, which is my team, defeated the number 7 seed Nashville Predators 4-3 in 7 games, which I was down 3-1 in that series, and won it. The number 6 seed St. Louis Blues defeated the number 3 seed Chicago Blackhawks 4-3 in 7 games. So yeah, a historic rival. And the number 5 seed Los Angeles Kings defeated the number 4 seed San Jose Sharks 4-2 in 6 games. So every single series besides the Kings Sharks series was ended in 7 games. In the second round, the number 2 seed Minnesota Wild, which is my team again, defeated the number 8 seed Anaheim Ducks 4-1 in 5 games. And then the number 5 seed Los Angeles Kings defeated the number 6 seed St. Louis Blues in 7 games, 4-3. And then in the Western Conference Finals, the number 2 seed Minnesota Wild swept the number 5 seed Los Angeles Kings, got my revenge on the LA Kings, so they regret letting me go and joining the Minnesota Wild. So yeah, 4-0. In the Eastern Conference, the number 1 seed Carolina Hurricanes defeated the number 8 seed Washington Capitals 4-3 in 7 games. The number 2 seed New Jersey Devils defeated the number 7 seed Montreal Canadiens 4-2 in 6 games. The number 3 seed Buffalo Sabres defeated the number 6 seed Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 games. Haha, take that, Maple Leafs. 4-1. And the number 4 seed New York Rangers defeated the number 5 seed Philadelphia Flyers 4-3 in 7 games. The number 4 seed New York Rangers defeated the number 1 seed Carolina Hurricanes 4-1 in 5 games. The number 2 seed New Jersey Devils defeated the number 3 seed Buffalo Sabres 4-3 in 7 games. The number 4 seed New York Rangers defeated the number 2 seed New Jersey Devils 4-1 in 5 games. Minnesota Wild defeated the number 4 seed New York Rangers 4-1 in 7 games, and the Minnesota Wild are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions according to NHL 12. Okay, this is when the playoffs start. So my first opponent was the Nashville Predators. As you can see, I won the first game, and then I lost the second game. We pretty much trade 2-1 each. Then I lost to Nashville in Game 3, then lost to them in Game 4. So I was down 3-1 in the series. Lost 2-1 and then 5-2. Then I beat Nashville in Game 5, then beat them in Game 6. I shut them out 2-1 in Game 5, and then beat them 4-1 in Game 6. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, by the way, in the first game I won in overtime. And spoilers, all Game 1s I won in overtime. Literally every one that I played. And in Game 7, I won 4-0. I shut them out. And then my next opponent was one of my least favorite teams in the NHL, the Anaheim Ducks. And they were a much easier opponent to deal with than Nashville. Nashville was like the toughest opponent. Once I got past Nashville, the playoffs were like completely easy. But the Ducks are probably like the toughest opponent after Nashville. But even still, they didn't really put up a lot of a fight at all. In fact, this team like cleared the puck a lot in that series. I remember that. So anyway, I beat them in the first 2 games. I beat them 3-2 in overtime and then 2-1. I don't remember if that was in overtime or not. And then I lost to them in Game 3, beat them in Game 4, and then beat them in Game 5. Score, I got shut out 2-0, then I won 2-1, and I shut them out in Game 5 for 4-0 and won the series in 5 games. My next opponent was the team that betrayed me in March, and I was going to get my revenge on them, the Los Angeles Kings. So if I beat them, they regretted my choice. If I beat them, they regretted letting me go to Minnesota. But if I lost, they might have a point that they'd let me go for a reason. So anyway, I beat them in the first 2 games in Minnesota. I beat them 3-2 in Game 1 in overtime. Then I beat them 6-3 in Game 2. And then in Game 3, I beat them 3-2 and then beat them in Game 4 3-1. So I swept the LA Kings to win the Western Conference. And then for the Stanley Cup Finals, I played against the New York Rangers. And as you can see, I swept them. I just completely annihilate them. As you can see, they only score 5 times against me the entire series. The Buffalo Sabres, which is the opponent I played against the LA Kings to win the Stanley Cup, only score 4 times the entire series. Let's see, I beat them 4-3. So in the first game, I beat them 4-3, of course, in overtime. Then I shut them out in Game 2. And then in Madison Square Garden, I beat them 4-1 in Game 3. And then beat them 2-1 in overtime to win the Stanley Cup. And then the Minnesota Wild won their first ever Stanley Cup in 2018, according to NHL 12, the state of hockey. Let's go. If you're a Wilds fan, I hope you guys are happy that I got you guys the Stanley Cup. It may not happen in real life, but it does happen in a goddamn video game. So let's move on. Only one team can be the champs, and this is the year. It's the Minnesota Wild. I am so proud of what you achieved this year, and so are our fans. Yep, the state of hockey is super excited. They're jumping for joy, celebrating, waving their goddamn towels, and seeing the Stanley Cup for the first time in Minnesota in the state of hockey to St. Paul, and they're probably going to bring it to Minneapolis as well. Amazing job this year. You did great. And what would say the Stanley Cup champion? Yep. Or did they say that usually after which they might at the draft. And I might do that. The playoffs has ended. The Stanley Cup champion belongs to the Minnesota Wild, and the Calder Cup champion belongs to the Oklahoma City Barons. Okay, I did not know there was an AHL team in Oklahoma. Wait, wasn't that the Oilers' old team, AHL team back then? Because I know they're Bakersfield now. Alright, let's take a look at the retired players. Let's see any of my team that won the Stanley Cup will retire as champions. So we'll start with goalie. Jimmy Howard's gonna retire. Okay. He retired in 2018. Now, did he retire in 2018 in real life? I don't think so. I think he retired in 2020 or 2019. It was definitely close, but I don't think it was 2018. I remember him goaltending in 2019, and I swear I also remember him goaltending in 2020, and I believe 2020 was his last season. But I could be wrong about that. Rick DiPietro, who was the first overall pick in the 2000 draft, considered one of the biggest busts in NHL history, and also resigned to that ridiculous contract that he's still getting paid by the New York Islanders to this day, by the way. I think he has like 2 or 3 more years. He doesn't have that much left. Got bought out back in 2013 because all the injuries that he dealt with during his time. And yes, the contract that he signed was a record 15 years. I think it was like, I forget how much it was. It was 15 years and like $53 million. I don't remember what the actual salary was, but I just know the years it was. It was like one of the worst contracts of all time. And yeah, he did not live up to the hype. But he did have a few good seasons, like the first few years. Like my dad always says, like he doesn't understand why people call him the biggest bust in NHL history. Because he had a couple of decent seasons. But yeah, I wouldn't say he's like the first overall pick, but yeah. Gar Snow and Mike Milbury, both were idiots. Especially Mike Milbury because he traded Roberto Luongo to the Florida Panthers because he thought that Rick DiPietro was the better goalie, which obviously bite him in the ass. Mike Smith did not retire until 2022. I remember, I watched his last year in 2022, the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. I watched the LA Kings Edmonton Oilers series. It was one of the best series of the entire postseason. I think it was the best series in the entire postseason that year. Maybe I might have to double check, but I know it was definitely one of them. Craig Anderson, okay, he didn't retire in real life until like 2021, I think, 22. All right, let's take a look at centers. Jason Spence. I don't know who you are. Okay. Rick. Man, a lot of Coyotes players are retiring. Oh, Trevor Lewis. Again, he just retired like I think like 2 years ago. In real life. Ryan Carter. Jimmy Johnson. Alex Foster. I don't know who that is. Andrew Shaw, who apparently never played in a single NHL game, which obviously that's not true. He has. Alright, time to look at the right wingers. None of my players have retired yet. Also, a lot of Red Wings and Coyotes players are retiring this season. Bill Thomas. Michael Burns. I've never heard of Michael Burns before. Alright, here's all of the left wingers. Matt Moslem, Van Egger. Daniel Sedin retired, which is true because he retired in real life in 2018. And I haven't seen Henrik, so he's probably still there. The Sedin turned to retire in real life in 2018. Andrei Umberger, I remember him. He was with Columbus for a long time, and he had like injury problems, and then just disappeared. Chris Porter, Justin. What was that? No, that's not Andre Fish. Oh, wait, that's Alex and of course, here is the last positions, the defense. Brooks Orbeck retired. I think he retired in 2019 in real life. Brian Allen, Paul Martin. So yeah, it looks like none of my players have retired as Stanley Cup champions. Ben Lovejoy, I remember Ben Lovejoy. Matt Jones. Alright, that's all the retired players. No, I don't care about the draft. Or I don't care about the prospect tournament. It's your assistant. I want you to watch over these I was watching the prospect game to check in these year's commenters, and I think these are some stable talent. Well, I hate to say this, but I don't have a lot of draft picks this season. Most of them I traded away. I think my first pick is like the third or fourth round. I definitely don't have a... Wait, actually, I can figure it out right now. Let's check real quick. Yeah, I don't have a lot of picks this season. I only have 6 picks this season, which I actually trade a lot of my 2019 picks. I only have... I trade a lot of my 2019 picks away. I only have like 5 picks. So yeah, I trade my a lot of picks from the next 2 years. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna really trade a lot in 2020 because I want to keep at least one first round pick. All right, so before we go to the draft, let's take a look and see how everyone did in the regular season and the postseason. Okay, here we go. So we got Brent, who had 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. It was a -3. Bobby with 12 goals, 15 assists for 27 points was a +3. Ryan, who had 21 goals, 19 assists for 40 points, and was a +23. BJ had 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points, and was a -2. Kevin had 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points, and was a +1. Oliver Ekman-Larsson has 7 goals, 34 assists for 41 points, and was a +19. Mitch had 8 goals, 6 assists for 14 points, and was a +3. Brendan had 11 goals, 20 assists for 31 points, and was a 0. Miguel had 16 goals, 48 assists for 64 points. Oh man, he had a monsters year. It was a +12. Carl Gunstrom had 2 goals, 13 assists for 15 points. It was a +3. Jack Johnson had 11 goals, 37 assists for 48 points. It was a +27. Another good year for him. Mikko Koivu had 24 goals, 54 assists for 78 points. It was a +20. I don't know how to say his name. Had 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points. It was a +11. Alec Martinez had 5 goals, 22 assists for 27 points. It was a -1. This guy, Ken, did nothing. He only had 2 penalty minutes. It was a -2. Ryan O'Reilly had 11 goals, 18 assists for 29 points, and was a +4. Steve Ott had 10 goals, 11 assists for 21 points, and was a +4. This guy had 10 goals, 30 assists for 40 points, and was a +16. Clark had 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points, and was a +8. Colin had 7 goals, 19 assists for 26 points, and was a -1. Eric had 36 goals, 30 assists for 66 points, and was a +30. Dan had 7 goals, 3 assists for 10 points, and was a +5. And Dale Wise had 15 goals, 9 assists for 24 points, and was a +1. And the goalies, Jonathan Quick had a 2.16 goals against average, 41 wins, 19 losses. Save percentage was .926. My backup goalie had 2.36 goals against average, 5 wins, 4 losses, and his save percentage was 9.13. So yeah, the goalies had a pretty good year, I'd say, in the season. Now let's take a look at how everyone did in the playoffs. Okay, Bobby had 1 assist, 1 point, was a +3. Ryan had 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points, was a +10. BJ had 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points and was a +8. Kevin had 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points and was a +1. Oliver Ekman Larson had 2 goals, 15 assists for 17 points and was a +13. Mitch had 2 goals and no assists for 2 points and was a +4. Brendan had 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points and was a +6. Miguel had 6 goals, 2 assists for 8 points and was a +2. Carl Grunstrom had 3 assists, but was a +4 because he had 3 points, no goals. Jack Johnson had 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points, was a +11. Miko Kovu had 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points, and was a +11. This guy did not do anything, but he did fight, or at least I believe, because it was 5 minutes, but also was a +1. Alec Martinez had 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points, and was a +7. Ryan O'Reilly had 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points, and was a +6, which in real life he'll actually win the Stanley Cup in 2019, the very next year. Steve Odd had 5 goals, 1 assist for 6 points, and was a +10. This guy had 3 assists for 3 points, was a +8. Clark had 2 assists for 2 points, was a +4. This guy had 4 assists and had 5 penalty minutes and was a 0. Eric has 8 goals, 6 assists. Had 8 goals, 5 assists for 13 points and was a +3. Dan had 3 goals, 2 assists for 5 points and was a +3. And Dale Wise had 3 assists for 3 points. He had 5 penalty minutes and was a +3. And for the goalies, Jonathan Quick only played, and he played 20 games. His record is 16-4. His goals against average was 1.2, so he was great. And his save percentage was .926. Again, outstanding postseason by Jonathan Quick. Alright, now it's time to get to the draft. And I only had like 6 drafts, so this is probably going to be a quicker draft. So there's not really going to be a lot to say. As you can see, I don't have a first round pick, so let's just move on. Oh, but I have some trades. Okay, I got 2 of them, it looks like. Oh, I have 5 trades, okay. You're offering me Keith Yandel. Keith Yandel, but you have offered me this guy. How did I just said what he did in the regular season. Yeah, he had a monsters year last year. Oh no. How did Keith Yandel did? I wouldn't mind Keith Yandel. Just add some defense. He had 40 points. He's a little more expensive and he's younger. Let's see if there's like another player that I can probably try. Steve Yott and 2022nd round pick. No deal? Damn. Oh well. I'll find a way to get Keith Yandel because actually I don't know if I really need him. Oh, I guess these guys are really wanting him. Let's take a look really quick to see how they are. Yeah, he did nothing. Only 1 goal. Yeah, nope, that's not happening. Sorry, Calgary. Alright, Winnipeg. Let's see, what do you want? I want the same guy for Alexander Steen. And Justin Williams! Holy crap. Justin Williams is in Winnipeg now. 34 points. Justin Williams, 22 points. Ugh. And that's the one that everyone wanted. Yeah. Why? I don't know why they keep offering him. I don't. Oh no! I'm not trading you. I'll do that. No deal. Alright, Columbus, I swear to God, it's the same person again. Oh my God, what? Why do people want this player? Chris Russell. 44 points. Let me look at my center really quick. Good. So people don't have to ask me that player anymore. Okay, so here's what happened in the first round, if you're curious. The Kings have my pick, apparently. Hey! Yeah. Oh, he's eating his food. Alright, I had 3 trays this time. Beyond Lucci's. Oh, do I really want Beyond Lucci's? 40 points. $31 points. Oh, I'm so tempted. And do I really want to give up a 3rd round pick? Yeah, screw it. It's probably not the smartest idea, but then again, I just won a cup, so I just won a cup. I can replace these players because they're gonna demand huge raise, even though technically the other guy isn't there. I can't speak. My 26-year-old guy had 2 years left in his deal, and he's probably going to get paid a lot next year. So I probably can't afford him. So maybe it probably worked out, but I probably should have taken Keith Yandel. Looking back at it. But then again, I don't really want to like trade. I don't really want to like. I don't want to like, get old guys. I want to get younger guys. So basically, just want to swap like. Let me see how good they are. 23 points. Oh, yeah, 23 points. Okay. How about you? 17 points in the AHL. How about this guy? He has like 14 points in the AHL. No, I'm gonna say no. I think that's kind of steep. Alright, I get my first pick. It doesn't matter who I take, I'm just gonna pick random. Alright, so here's what happened in the second round. I think I forgot to show you, but just in case. And here's what happened in the third round. Alright, I do have a 4th round pick, so we'll see how I do there. Any more trades? So definitely what I'm going to do for free agency next year is look for a center, because I just traded a bunch of my centers away. Jonathan Weather, so yeah, you can come. So here's what happened in the 4th round. So I got me on Lucci's, I can't believe it. It actually declined in real life by this point. Gray low? Sure. Here's what happened in the 5th round. I have 2 6th round picks here. I'm gonna go for a center. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to this. I'm just gonna go with the center. Is there a second center I can take? Yep, I'll just take another center. Here's what happened in the 6th round. And now we're on to the last round. Alright, it's time to make the last pick of the draft. I'm just gonna take a defenseman. Alright, so here's what happened in the 7th round. Not really much to say about the draft. Alright, it's time to go through the re-sign phases. So I do have some cap. I have about $8 million in cap. Of course, it's going to change. So we'll see how much I actually have. Yeah, I know how the contracts work. Okay, so I have like $36 million of cap space. Alright, so there's a couple of good free agency next year. So you guys will know the drill by now. I'm gonna go ahead and do the speed run, the sign phase. You'll see me in a little bit. Okay, guys. So I just finished the re-sign phase, and I think one of my first things I'm gonna do in the next video is that I'm gonna trade my backup goalie because I have like a RFA that's like 25, and he looks pretty good and like ready to try out for the NHL. So that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I try to hopefully get much of my players back, and then I have an idea what I'm gonna do to replace that one of my players that I trade away. Of course, Miko's gonna return. It's not going anywhere. Alright, Steve Ott's back. You're back. Alright, got some new players coming up. Nope. I offered Jack Johnson a contract. He hasn't said anything. Alright, cool. Alright, one more day, we're in free agency. Alright everybody, that is going to be the end of today's video. I finished up the video with becoming a Stanley Cup champion. So yeah, it's a lot of fun and stuff. So yeah, if you want to see more of videos like this, please hit that like button and subscribe. And let's hope I come back and repeat as Stanley Cup champions for the 2017 or 2018-2019 season. Will that happen? I don't know. I did have to trade some pieces away because, you know, cap and, you know, can't pay everyone and stuff, obviously. Can't keep everyone because they want to get paid too. So yeah, it looks like my next season, my average age is about 26, which is not too bad. And I have around, looks like I have around like 6 million in cap space, so I do have a plan to make some move. I'm probably gonna make some move for cap reasons, but yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and congratulations to me for my second Stanley Cup in my career. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.